Right now, we have a lot of issues here in the United States. One of the big issues is the border security crisis. This is something that many lawmakers have been saying we need to address this immediately. We have to come up with a solution to prevent the United States from being invaded by tens of thousands or potentially millions of people. Now, one thing I can tell you is that many Democratic lawmakers, Democratic governors, and Democratic mayors are all asking for one thing: additional funding. But Republicans are saying now is not the time because you already spent money that wasn't yours. So I want to address what they are talking about, why this is turning into a bigger deal now than before, because we're getting more information today than we got in the previous month. So I'm going to break down what's going on in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So one of the things that has happened recently is we are starting to get more and more reports that federal funds that were originally meant for COVID has been reallocated and funneled over to help illegal immigrants. Just look at this article from today. It says Dem states, cities overrun by migrants funneled millions in federal COVID aid to support illegals. Now, I'll be very clear on this. Not every single state did this, and the money wasn't actually equal. I want to show you this because, again, I think a lot of people are not understanding what has happened. Okay, I try to do my best and explain what's going on, where Democrats are at, where Republicans are at, where the Biden administration's at, what the American people are asking for. But here's where things are at. Well, as of March 31st, 2023, so this was a year ago. Look at this. It says DHS, the OIG, this is the Office of Attorney General or whatever, finds millions in American Rescue Plan funds misused by NGOs, given to got-away illegal immigrants. Said $80 million had been spent at the time of the audit. $80 million. I want to read you this first one right here. Okay? It says Department of Homeland Security's Office of the OIG, Office of Inspector General, found that some of the $110 million from the American Rescue Plan for migrants encountered at the southern border was misspent by nonprofits. In some cases, it was given to illegal immigrants who had evaded Border Patrol. This is one of the reasons why Republicans do not want to just go and send additional money to the U.S. southern border. Because every single time we fund a new project, we overspend and we misuse the funding for other purposes. This is something that the federal government has done for years. It's nothing new. But I want to read you something else. Right here. It says Washington's government crafted the largest such program, allocating $340 million in ARP funding for the so-called COVID Immigrant Relief Fund program. According to the state and federal filings, the program consisted of sending one-time cash grants worth $1,000 each to immigrants with unauthorized citizenship status. It says in a report last year, the Washington State Department of Social and Health Services said more than 100,000 undocumented residents received payments of $3,075 under the program. The state's legislature approved the program in legislation passed in April 2021. Here's the thing. Right now, what we are hearing is that states are going to have to pay for this. And this is where you are going to be paying as well. The federal government does not have the backing of Congress to go out there and fund a $50, $60, $100 billion program to push additional security down to the U.S. southern border. But states that are asking for additional assistance from the Biden administration, they're being told that we don't have the ability to do that because there's no way it's going to pass through the House. Well, guess what? These states, they don't have any other option. They have to provide additional resources to all these people coming into their state. This means additional shelter. Okay? This means there's so much stuff here. And here's the problem. Shelter is just the start. But now you're going to have things like a welcome center. And this is something that San Diego did, and I reported this just the other day, where San Diego is having to close down their welcome center. Okay, for new migrants coming into the state, they're having to close it down because they don't have enough funding. They were overwhelmed. But what's the purpose of a welcome center? Well, it helps you if you need to look for a job. Again, you can't get a job if you don't have a work permit, so illegal immigrants wouldn't be able to use it. But for those that are coming in legally, a welcome center is a good thing. It'll help you get any type of housing, where you can go and get food, where you register for, or if you want to go and you need other benefits, right? That's on there. If you need help, doing applications, you need to go and you need to try to provide additional documentation for family members or whoever that may be coming over for schooling, right? The list goes on and on. Well, welcome centers cost money. Guess what? These democratic cities and states are asking for additional funding. Well, how are they going to pay for that? Guess what? Get ready to pay more in taxes. Whether they tax you based off of your income, they tax you based off of the amount of items you buy at a store, right? All these things are possible. You could even pay a little bit more in property taxes, right? Or, and here's the next one, you are going to see your benefits, your resources get cut. Parks not going to be open as long, or they're going to shut them down. Libraries, schools, right? Police stations. They may not have the same amount of law enforcement officers that you had before. Why? They're trying to save money. They're cutting back. This is what some are expecting. This is also one of the reasons why they are trying to push these additional packages through Congress. For one of which, there's bipartisan lawmakers that are urging their colleagues to back a bill that combines Ukraine aid and border security. This is something that we learned a couple days ago. But get this, there's most likely not going to be a bill that includes funding for Ukraine, funding for Israel, for Taiwan, for the Indo-Pacific, and also border security. The reason why? All those things are very contentious at this time. There's not a lawmaker out there that is going to be able to put something together to pass at this time with our current Congress and our current president. So, be prepared, get ready, because according to experts, you are about to pay because of what states did, what cities did, and how they lost millions and millions of dollars that now the federal government cannot get back. And on top of that, they cannot allocate more money because we don't have it. So, there's a lot of problems here. I just wanted to fill you in on what's going on at this time. One of the big discussions that we've had over the past few months has been how are we supposed to shore up the security at the U.S. southern border. Some lawmakers have said, well, let's go after the unspent COVID funding. Well, guess what? Many cities, many states don't have any unspent COVID funding anymore simply because they've spent it. They found a way to spend that money and say that this was for COVID relief. Now, are we going to go after these states and these cities? Probably not. But we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is Republicans, they're looking into this. They are not very happy, but at the same time, they knew this money was pretty much gone as soon as they passed that bill. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is I'll be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.